Hi everybody, Joe Edelmann here again with another quick demo video. This time I'll be reviewing the Fifine N6 4-channel stereo headphone amplifier. I previously reviewed Fifine's N5 4-channel line mixer, which link to that video I'll put in the description. They were kind enough to send me the N6 as well to test and to take for a spin. The N6 is essentially the direct opposite of the N5, whereas the N5 took 4 separate line inputs and summed them into a single output. The N6 takes one input and splits it out to 4 stereo headphone outputs, each with their own independent level control. Despite this inverted purpose, the N6 shares a lot of features in common with the N5. It has the same compact dimensions and light weight as the N5, making it very portable. It runs off of the same 12-volt power supply adapter, which is, again, included with the unit. It has the same intuitive set of controls, just 4 knobs, one for each headphone output level control, and it clocks in at the same affordable price tag of $21.99 US on Amazon. One key difference versus the N5 is that while on the N5 you could sort of mix and match mono and stereo inputs and outputs, here on the N6, if you have a stereo TRS input, you're going to also need 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch TRS tip ring sleeve adapters for your headphones into each of these 4 headphone outputs. Otherwise, you're only going to be hearing a single channel, if you were just to use a mono adapter, a single channel of the headphone output in your ears. This makes sense since most sound recordings and mixer outputs are in stereo, and headphones are stereo by design with a left and a right channel. The primary use case for the N6 is fairly obvious. You can use it to send the same stereo audio source out to 4 separate pairs of headphones simultaneously, which is useful in a lot of full band applications, such as recording, live performance, or even mix reviews. Or you could use it to have really intense album listening parties, But another really cool application that I discovered as I was looking through other reviews of the device was you could use it as more of a general purpose line splitter. You could maybe use it to send a guitar signal to 4 separate amps, or to a pedal chain and to a computer interface output, or things like that. You can get creative. Use it as sort of like a Y cable squared, which is pretty great. It's flexible. It's useful beyond just its initial purpose. I'm definitely impressed by the N6 in terms of its form factor, its general sound quality, and its affordability. I think it makes it great for musicians on a budget, or for anyone who's just looking for something simple that works and that gets the job done. And so I'd be happy to recommend it to others. Personally, I have used and will likely to continue to use a Mackie HM54 headphone amplifier, which is a slightly larger rack-mounted unit, which again has 4 headphone outputs, but has a few extra features that give me a little bit more flexibility. For instance, instead of not only being able to send the same input source to all 4 output channels, I can also send a separate custom input to each of the 4 channels, so that I could be using, the aux sends from my mixer to set up custom, monitoring mixes or performance mixes for each of the 4, band members or whoever is using the headphone, which I think is a good feature, but obviously not what this is trying to do. This is meant to be a simple, one-to-many headphone splitter, which makes sense. The other thing that the HM54 has, which the N6 might benefit from, is a master input level control. One thing that I noticed in other reviews of this product and in my own experience is that it is very sensitive to the level of input that you provide it to, and it is prone to a little bit of distortion if you get too loud on the input signal. So you need to be able to control the level of your input before it reaches the N6 in order to prevent distortion scenarios. If it had an onboard trim pot, for that, it might be easier to kind of prevent that from happening. But again, this is a device designed with efficiency in mind, so I get it, but just one reaction that I had from using it. I think the N6 would definitely still be useful to me, again, for situations on the go, more remote monitoring applications, as well as some of the more outside-of-the-box line-splitting applications that I mentioned earlier. Thanks again to you for watching, and to Fifine for sending me this N6 for review. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys soon.